Hello and welcome to video 8 in my Modelling in Maya series. The first pass is now complete on the body, but she still has no facial features. So in this video we will rectify that and give her some eyes, a nose and a mouth. Before we start, how would you like to help shape the future of this channel and keep these videos free? The quickest and easiest way to show support is to hit the thanks button below this video. Or, alternatively, simply visit my Ko-fi page and treat me to a coffee. Another option is to visit the antCGi store. Here you will find lots of free downloads, plus all the course assets and scripts for each of my courses. Finally, you could become a member of the antCGi club. For a small monthly donation, you will get access to some exclusive rewards and member perks. Just click the join button below to get started. Remember, the more support I get, the more time I can dedicate to creating more high-quality content just for you. To get more information on how you can help, follow the link on the screen or in the description below. Okay, let's get on with the video. First, we need some more topology to play with. We can't do much with its current setup. Let's create a new edge loop around here. And we can connect it to this open edge here. We can follow this edge loop up from the neck. And connect that here. Now we can relax this to even out the edge loops. Move this up. What we need now is to create a hole which will be the eye socket. So first let's move and slide some of the edges so we have a quad in roughly the same place. That will do. Now all I'm going to do is extrude this face and delete the middle polygon. This gives us a cavity which we can work with. Okay, let's rework this slightly and roughly match the concept art. Now we need another edge loop running through the eye. And we can use this to give it a little more shape. What I'm going to do now is start to work in some of the key edge loops. These will eventually follow the facial muscles, which helps to make them animate in a more natural way. So let's cut along the brow and then turn down over the bridge of her nose. And follow this under the chin. Collapse this to form a loop. So you can see that we're starting to get the shape around the eye now. Let's add a bit more definition to her nose. So let's cut along here. And here, and collapse this to create a triangle. I can flip this edge now to change the direction of the edge flow so it's going around her nose. And collapse these to remove the triangle. Adjust the vertices a little. Let's next create a basic mouth shape, and we can approach this in a similar way to the eye socket. We need a cut here. And now let's make a cavity. Now we need to adjust these so we create a loop around the opening. Adjust the shape. And add another edge loop now, which will help us add a bit more definition. It's all still very rough, but we are getting the basic face structure in place. If we look at the concept art, you will see it has some rough lines to indicate where the main facial muscles are. So what we want to do is try and follow these with our edge loops. So let's add a new edge loop running from the bridge of the nose, past the mouth and onto the neck. And we need to clean this up now. And follow that edge loop to make it move under the mouth instead. Okay, let's add another loop here. Actually, I'm going to remove this triangle first. Let's move it over here for now. I think I'll add another loop running down from her eye first. This will give us more to work with as we shape her eyelids. And do the same to the upper lid so the topology matches. We can use that extra topology now to add more shape to her eyes. Okay, time to delete the history and relax the topology. Oh, looks like we have a stray vertex here. Okay, let's add more topology to the lips. And again, mirror that to the upper lip. We can take this loop over the top of the head. Now we have those extra edges and vertices, we can add more shape to her lips. What we need now is another edge, but this needs to form the corner of the mouth. That will do. A bit more reshaping. Okay, let's take a look at her nose. First, we need an extra edge loop running around it. Let's extrude this face here. And delete the middle, as this will be her nostril. So that's looking a bit more nose-like. We can add another loop now across her nose and onto her cheek. I might remove this loop here actually. Just while we move the nostril back. And also collapse these. Time for more reshaping. And we will try and clean up the topology too, removing some of these triangles. Just going to enhance the brow a little. So what I want to do now is bring in some eye models, and I will be sharing how these were made in a future video. We need these in the scene so we can correctly form the eyelids, because they need to sit over the top of the eyeballs. I'll position these. Now we have them in place, we can adjust the eyelid geometry. So you see, things are starting to look a bit more natural. Okay, let's add another loop here, which will be the corner of the eye. And adjust the topology again. It's always worth taking a step back and looking at things as a whole, without the wireframe. I'm going to collapse this for now. We need this loop around the mouth ideally, but I'll come back to that. Okay, we need another loop around the eye. We can make that into more of an eyelid. I want this loop coming from the corner of the mouth to be higher really, it needs to run back under her cheek. This will make this area animate better. So, another edge loop under the nose and over the cheek. I'll collapse these. And let's try and rework this area around the nose. Add an extra edge loop here. Adjust here. We need to add more of a crease around the nostrils, so let's add another loop here. This corner doesn't look right. More the topology than anything. I'll just try a few things. Let's add another loop here, coming down from the nose. This will let us add more shape to the nose. Okay, time to clean the model. And let's get rid of these. Flip this edge. And delete this so we have a quad. It's not perfect, but it's a start. We have this edge under her nose. We can run another edge loop up from the lip. I'll open her mouth a little so I can see what I'm doing. That's better. Now we mirror that on the lower lip, so the topology matches. And again, now we have that extra topology, we can use it to add more shape. Let's remove the end gone below the nose. Okay, time to fix the pinch at the corner of the mouth. We want the edge loops to flow around from the nose. Let's divide the chin and cut from the nose down to meet it. And now rework this area to clean it up. Let's collapse this edge, delete this one, open this too so we can see the topology. Collapse these. And we can probably just connect these triangles. Okay, good. Now let's delete the history. And again, relax the topology. Oh, I wonder if I selected the smooth brush by accident. Let's undo that. And try again. That's better. And now more reshaping. Let's just check from the front. And adjust the eye a little bit more. We need another loop now following the same direction, but this can start on the bridge of the nose. And maybe end here for now. So let's clean this up. That's better. Not perfect just yet, but we are getting the edge loops to try and follow the facial muscles. I'm going to change the edge flow here so it moves along the jawline. So cut here. And now down here so we can remove the triangle. We can move these down now to match the concept. And let's continue the jawline around the side of the head. As you can see, the side of the head is out of proportion to the front now with regards to the polygon density. Let's follow this edge down here and see what we can do to clean this up. There's this triangle left over, so we can add another cut here, and then one here. Let's relax the topology now because it's getting a little bunched up on the neck. And a bit of shape adjusting. Also remember to delete the history. Okay, let's rework the shape of the lips now. It's always a good idea to check the inside of the model too. Let's add a bit more of a crease with another loop, and that will also mean we can add a bit more definition. And now onto the chin. So we probably need to loop the edges around her chin. And we can clean this area up now. Let's try this. Okay, time for a relax. And we can use the sculpting tools to adjust the shape. Okay, so now we are getting there. She doesn't look right just yet, but we still have lots to do. Let's shift our focus back onto her eyes. And first, we should give her eyelids some depth. We can extrude these edges and then push them back. I think the eyes themselves need to be smaller. And now we need to adjust the eyelids to fit. I'm just going to disable the shader for now. Sometimes it's easier to see the model with the default material applied. Let's try and reroute the edges on her brow now. And add another loop from the nose too. I'll drop out of smooth mesh mode, and I tend to do this occasionally just to make sure the topology is good even when it's not smoothed. So we can see there are some overlapping vertices, so let's separate those. Smooth the edges too, although this isn't essential. I just like to do it so the proxy model doesn't look as angular. We need more shape in the eyelids, so let's add another edge loop. One thing to keep in mind is how the model will deform. So with the eyelids, we will eventually need more edge loops adding, just so she can blink. We will look into that more in a future video though, as we start to explore how she deforms. Let's collapse these. And now these on the nose. Although we only just added these, oh well, I guess it's all part of my process. I add topology, rework the area, then optimize. So back to the brow. Maybe change the edge flow here and try and remove the pole. So we moved it down here. Let's add another edge loop here and turn the triangle into a quad. Collapse these edges to remove the n-gon next to the mouth. And rework the shape. Also, let's bring that shader back too. And let's clean up the side of the head. I don't know about you, but sometimes, when I feel like I can't see anything else to adjust, I take a break. Even just an hour away will refocus your attention. This pole is annoying me, so let's see if we can move it. Extend this around the cheek. Okay, time for a clean. And it looks like we need a more general reshape of her head. We need to remember that this model is split into two, so we have a seam down the middle, which is causing this point on her head. Now don't worry, this will vanish and be smoothed once she is a single mesh again. I'm going to experiment with the chin and jaw area now. I want to try and get the natural indentation you get with the muscle in this area. Actually, we seem to have lost the edge loop running from the corner of the mouth and around the side of her head. Let's see if we can work that back in. It's a key element for when we come to generate blend shapes. Okay, part the way there. Just separate these. Follow this around. The cheek is looking too dense, so we need to reduce the topology. Okay, good. That's looking better. Try and do some optimizing now. And close the lips. Another quick clean to even out the topology. and adjust the lips a little bit more. Okay. Right, let's take another look at the nose. First, I want an edge loop to run around and then into the nostril. The nose is too pointy, so let's adjust this edge. And I'm going to delete this edge loop too. Instead, we will create a loop here running into the middle of the model and connect it. I feel like we need another edge loop to help shape the middle of the nose. So let's run one up from the lip. This also lets us add a bit more detail to the upper lip. I'll adjust the vertices a little. Now let's look from the front and make sure it's matching the model sheets. We need a bit more shape on her nostrils, so I'll add this edge loop back in for now. Sometimes you need to remove something so you can clean up the area before you ultimately add it back in, if needed. I'm going to add a loop around the nostril now. Again, this will help with the shape, but also the crease. Now we have the topology in, we can work on the overall shape. Maybe change the direction of this edge loop and even out the topology. It's looking cleaner, but I'm wondering if we actually needed that edge loop. We need another cut here. Okay, time for a break from the nose. I don't like the brow here, so let's rework it to get a better edge flow. Triangulate here, and delete these. So we still have a triangle. I could flip it, and then run a new loop over the bridge of the nose. I want the eyelids to be a bit sharper, so I'm going to select the edge loop and simply bevel it. I can adjust the fraction attribute to make it tighter or looser. Now you could use the crease tool too, which we will look at later, but if the model is going to be exported, you will likely lose that information. Because when you add a bevel, it's actually adding in more geometry. The tighter edge that you added will be exported. Still not too happy with the brow, so I'll adjust the topology a bit more. Okay, so at this stage I'm going to speed things up as I continue to adjust the shape and the topology. So we're slowly getting closer. But the problem I have whenever I build a model like this is it always looks too much like an alien. That is, until we add the ears. So let's give her some. Now I'm not going to build the full ear model, we will cover that in the next video. So we just want to extrude these faces and create a basic ear shape. This is just to give us a more rounded idea of how the face and head are shaping up. So now we have that in place, we can continue to reshape and rework the head. We can also experiment with updating the topology and the edge flow too, trying to get the edges to follow the natural muscle lines of the face. Once the base topology is done, it's just about refinement, and you can spend another hour, day or week on this if you wanted, just adjusting and tweaking until you're happy. So looking at it now, the polygons are quite large on her forehead, so I'm going to split those. And see if we can run the edge loop around the head and down to the jaw. Now a lot of this series has been sped up, just to make sure the videos aren't too long, but that may mean that you miss something or a key technique is skipped over. Well, don't worry, because to accompany these, I'm also uploading the full, unedited raw footage too, so you can watch the process in real time and advert free. All you need to do to get access to these is join the antCGi club. The details are on the screen now. I'm going to add a crease to the eyelids now to enhance the eyelids, and there are two ways we can do this. The first is to use another bevel, like this. So you see, this gives us a nice angle around the eyelids, but it also adds more geometry to the model. Let's undo that and instead use the crease tool, which we mentioned earlier in the video. All we do is select the edges, activate the tool, and then drag with the middle mouse button to adjust how intense the crease is. You can see the creased edges are displayed thicker than the basic ones. We do get a similar result. The issue is the creases won't export with the model, as we mentioned earlier, so you will lose them if you're moving this to something else. I'll leave these as creases for now though, because this model isn't intended to be exported. And let's continue editing. I want to rework the brow now. The topology needs updating so it will animate correctly, something we will look at later in the series. So maybe just simplify it for now. Time to work on the overall shape with the sculpting tools. Maybe adjust the eyes again too, raising them. Freeze the transforms. They look better. Okay, let's leave the head for now and work on the neck. The idea is to try and remove these open edges, or n-gons. We can connect this one from the chest. It's looking a bit too dense, so let's relax the topology. We have a muscle which connects the clavicle to the back of the skull. Now it's got a long name, so forgive me if I don't pronounce it correctly. So it's the sternocleidomastoid. And this is visible, so we should build it into our model. First, let's cut in the direction it flows. And clean up the model. Flip these edges. Delete these. Nearly there. So we are adjusting the overall edge flow here, so it can take some time and experimentation. Okay, now the middle of the neck. I want to get these to flow into the middle of the model. Let's try flipping this. Cut here into the clavicle. And we have a triangle here. So let's remove that with another edge loop. And relax again. Actually, let's remove this. And try flipping this edge. Not sure that works. That's better. Now we can move this triangle and see if we can do something with this open edge. Great, I love it when it works out like that. Okay, give her another clean and do some adjusting. So what I want to do now is give her some basic eyebrows and eyelashes. Just like with the ear, I don't feel like we get an overall idea of how the face is looking until these are in. As you can see, I'm just going to use a basic cube for the eyebrows and rework it into shape. So something like this. And mirror it. Now let's give her some eyelashes. So I duplicate the main model and delete all the geometry apart from around the eyelids. This gives me a shape to start with. I can now extrude this and adjust it to get the shape I want. Remember, these are just basic representations for now, so they don't need to be perfect. We can always come back and build high detail eyelashes, or what is more likely, we can use XGen to create them and the eyebrows. Actually, would you like a video showing how to add those using XGen? Let me know in the comments below. Finally, let's quickly create a darker version of the shader and apply that to them. Great, she's looking much more human now. Okay, so I think the first pass on the face is pretty much complete. Although to be honest, we have probably done more than we should, but again, I got carried away. All I'm going to do now is continue to adjust the shape and tweak the topology until I'm happy to move on. So now we have the first detail pass done on the whole model, I think it's time we focused on the second and final detail pass, and we will do that in the next video. Okay, that's another video over. Thanks for watching right to the end, and make sure you also check out some of the other free videos and courses I have available. If you have any questions, please post them in the antCGi community Discord server. That's the best place to reach me, and if I'm not available, there are plenty of other talented people available to help. Remember, to help support future content and keep these videos free, hit the thanks button below, visit the antCGi store, or join the antCGi club. You can also treat me to a coffee at my coffee page. The link is on the screen now and in the description below. Thanks again for watching. This is antCGi signing off, and I will see you on the next one.